How are you doing?
Good, you?
Great.
Game week.
Yeah, let's go.
You've been waiting for this for a while.
We all have.
That is
Right.
true. That is everybody's that's been waiting for this.
Got a taste of it last weekend with college football. So, what questions do you have for me?
What's it like opening the season against one of your biggest rivals? I mean, how has it kind of influenced the preparation that goes into this season?
I think it's had it's done its purpose. I think the sense of urgency from our players. Yeah, I think this is. I don't know if we've ever felt this strongly about an opening game, but I think more than anything, I want our guys to remember what it's like, so we can simulate this off-season preparation and try to get that feeling every year. So it's been really cool. Love the response our players, the ownership and the leadership that we've seen. So just really excited for the season, and happens to be against Utah this Thursday. So just really excited about 2019.
You've had a lot of success as a team with season openers. Won 5 in a row, 9 of the last 10. What's played the biggest part in that continued sustained success in starting the season that strong?
I think first thing comes to mind is probably health. If you're looking at it from that long, you said 9 out of 10. So the fact that we have that much time to get everyone ready, it's kind of like the goal for everyone that's coming off season conditioning, and also the surgeries, and anyone that has any issues going on with their bodies, they can get that ready. And the goal is to be ready by the time we open up for camp, and then work camp a little bit so they can get ready for the season. So that's for the guys that are recovering, but for the most part, I think everyone uses that as a goal to standard or to get their body 100% ready. And so that's probably plays a lot into it, but we have to be able to do it 12 times, and so that's what I'm focused on, is trying to simulate that and have a great performance and be the best BYU we possibly can this fall. And so starts the first game and hopefully gets us the results we want, and that we can end up trying to simulate that and do it every week from there on out.
Does this first game have the potential to define your season right away?
No, the season is 12 games long, trying to earn more time to get more games. So I don't really focus on end result as much as I do the process and the being able to enjoy the opportunity to make memories. I think I've mentioned that before, that so fixated on the result that you forget to stop, smell the roses, and enjoy the process, and that's when you miss out on memories. So really trying to find ways to make as many memories we can this Thursday, and enjoy them, and then and see what the end result is afterwards. But the season is our players have been really excited about this game because it's the first game of the season, so they're really excited about the season, and that's what I'm excited about, the entire season, and it happens with game one.
How do you feel you match up with them on the field, and then conversely, how they match up with what you'll put out there?
I think everything's different. I think we feel like we have 11, they can count to 11, so there'll be 11 on 11 on the field, and if there's more than that, then the rest will stop the game and call a penalty. So that's kind of what comes down to. We understand where they're at, and then the predictions for them, and there's a lot of excitement going on about that team, and so we're just as excited to see how we match up against them. They're picked to win the Pac-12, and a lot of experts and analysts have chimed in on where they see them fitting in the scope of college football, and let's see where we fit. So that's kind of the challenge, to see how we fit. Really confident in the way our guys prepared, and they should go into this game feeling loose and confident and feeling excited for the opportunity.
What challenges are there when preparing for an offense that has a new offensive coordinator? How do you approach that?
Well, I worked with him for 4 years, so that helps out a little bit. And, so hopefully the fact that I'm familiar with him will help out. And same with Coach Tuyaki, and we have coaches on our staff that have been around Andy Ludwig for some time. And we've seen what he's done, and so there's some really good things that he's done in college football. A lot of great film. He's been coordinating for a long time in Wisconsin, Vanderbilt, and other places. So we'll be able to pull up a lot of the film and see what he does. But I think he's the kind that works with his talent. I know Andy Ludwig really well, and he's a great coach. He's great at schemes and strategies, so we'll have to be ready for all of it. I think that he can do so many different things, from pro style to spread and the QB run game and all that. And so we've had a month to prepare for it. And so I think our defense there shouldn't be too many surprises, but we'll see.
You mentioned making memories. How much fun is it to have these types of games like Arizona last year and Utah start and kind of be able to have the, kind of a high profile opponent as opposed to maybe someone that doesn't have the same profile, just to be able to get the season going?
Memories work all the same. We're given 12 opportunities, and so I'm not really focused on the opponents as much as it is. I mean, I think in the preparation that kind of helps spark a little bit more excitement for the players. But as coaches, our job is to try to get this team to be the best they possibly could be. And how it matches up to Utah, we'll see Thursday night. But my job is to get them in a position where they can perform their best Thursday night, and then do it 11 more times and try to earn more time afterwards and try to earn another game together and see if we can do it 13 times.
You mentioned the preseason hype with Utah, then picked to win the Pac-12 and such. How do you, I guess, drown that out for both the coaching staff and with the players to help them just focus on doing their best and playing their game?
Oh, our focus and our energy has been on us, but you can't really discredit the fact that they're predicted to finish so well. But focusing on us, we have a team that we're going to play against, and so that's part of scouting our opponents. A great deal of respect, but at the same time, we're focused on what we can do as a team. But going into the game, you have to know your opponents, and we see them. And so there's a lot of excitement, and we're looking at the great opportunities that the season holds for us. Not just one game, but the entire season. These guys have worked extremely hard, and I'm excited to see some things happen.
Tyson Williams listed as the #1 running back without a "or" next to his name on the depth chart. What did he do in camp to solidify himself in that spot?
I think overall he performed the best in the competition, and we felt like Soup and Lopini were right there with him. We felt like he earned that spot the right way in the competition. The great thing about those three, that it brought them even closer together. And Patty spoke to our team last week and mentioned that the love that competition brings when you're able to help and share that. She talked about the quarterbacks being able to help each other in years past and how that made them much better as a group. So I think our players took it to heart, and I think she just confirmed what they were doing, that it's working. So in the long run, Tyson earned it. So hopefully there'll be opportunities to see all three of those guys perform.
Where do you anticipate the offense making its biggest improvement from the success we saw towards the end of last year jumping into this season?
I think there's a high possibility of just our guys gelling well together. There's not a lot of questions going into the year. We have a physical O-line that has some experience, and not just the 5 starters. There's guys that have started other games and played a significant amount of reps, and so I think the fact that we have some young, experienced guys like Zach and others and Lopini plays into it, and then we have some good veteran leadership as well. So having guys like Aleva Hifo that have played a lot of reps, and looking at guys like Michael Simon and Talon Shumway, those guys have done a great job leading as upperclassmen, but they've done an amazing job encouraging the younger players to be leaders themselves. Gunnar Romney, Dax Milne, and others who normally wouldn't speak much have been put in position by our leaders to come out of their shell a little bit, and our team is better because of it.
Does the result of this rivalry game have an impact on things like recruiting and that goes beyond just the playing field?
I don't know. I think we're going to recruit the guys that want to be here, and I never had a recruit come in and say, well, whoever wins this game, we're going to commit to them. So that's, when it comes to recruiting, it's about connections, and you look at the way that AJ Stewart had been able to connect with Soup and with Tyson. That's what brought him here. So the fact that we will show our recruits that we love them and we want them here and that we'll take care of them, and it's not just football driven. My goal is to see what they can be in life, and our coaches echo that, and our goal is to try to build a culture where they can thrive and they have a great purpose, not just football wise, but in the community, and they can grow spiritually and learn a lot of things and become better people.
Momentum and momentum plays play obviously a big role in football. Is it harder to manage during a rivalry game, those kind of things when they're happening?
No, just keep getting more and more momentum plays, and then do whatever we can to keep it rolling. I think how you answer to adversity's got to play a factor into that as well. And our guys are built for all of it right now. I have a lot of confidence going into this game that the leadership and the maturity of this group will play a huge factor in being able to respond to momentum swings and things like that. And the experience that they've gone through the last few years will help them gain the momentum back if we can do that, and also not just gain the momentum back, but build on it and let it steamroll.
Why haven't you named captains yet, and what's your plan for captains?
No, we have a large group of leaders on this team, and I just looked at a lot of different organizations, and team vote matters, but I think if you were looking at the voting on our team, they would vote the same guys that I think are leading this team already. And I don't want to limit it to 4 people, so our leadership group would decide the 4 to go out for a coin toss, and there it is, And I look at places the structure of the military and things like that. They don't vote to see who's going to be in the ranks. They assign them, and right now I've assigned a lot of leaders that have taken the initiative and become leaders themselves. They'll be the captains, and they'll decide who goes out for the coin toss, and that's how it's going to work. I'm just really pleased with the amount of leaders that we have on this team, young and old, and we just keep building on that.
Utah's defensive line is touted as one of the best in the country. Do you have confidence that your offensive line is up to the task?
They have no choice. They have to be, right? And they've known about them, and they saw them last year. So we'll see what happens. We've had a great opportunity to get stronger and bigger and faster, and so we'll see if it matches up. I know that Utah's D-line brings a lot of experience and a lot of physical play, and I like that matchup. So I think our guys are excited to see where they match up with possibly the best D-line in college football, and let's see what happens, man.
Kyle Whittingham said earlier today that Zach Moss would be ready to go on Thursday. What challenges does he present with his efficiency and effectiveness as a running back?
A great running back. I mean, he's projected to be a high draft pick for a reason, and he has a lot of unique skills that makes a great running back and flourish. And I think with Andy Ludwig as the offensive coordinator, they're going to lean heavily on his abilities and his skills, and we've been planning for him this entire time. So I'm glad he's able to play. I think the college football's better when he's healthy and he can play. Same thing with Britt Covey. Those guys are great athletes, and I'd like to see them on the field. And he came back to school for a reason, and to be with his boys and to play. And our job is to try to disrupt it a little bit and see where we match up with one of the best running backs in college football. So, yeah, I've been really, just really. Is that a? Anyways, I lost my train of thought for a second. But no, I've been impressed with what he's done on film, and so I think it's going to be a great challenge for us. I think our guys are up for it.
Was there any dialogue that went on between you and Devin when you talked about giving him his brother's number for this year?
I think that's always that's just I don't think we have to say much. I think if you're a Kafusi from Steve and Michelle, you're going to have number 90, and I'm probably sure the grandkids will do that too. And I'm going to commit all of their grandkids, all the grandsons. So
Yeah, I was wondering if you'd offer that.
yeah, and if they have girls, they can play volleyball and basketball and track, and we're number 92, soccer. So yeah, I think that's just that's a family number, and I'm good with it. And I think he if you're above 6'6" and you weigh 270 or so, then you should be wearing that number.
You've said in the past that this fan base that follows this program is Power 5 worthy. What are your expectations as far as just the atmosphere that's going to take place on Thursday night?
Yeah, I just want our fans to have fun, man, and a large part of that is us and our performance. I want them to enjoy it too. I think I mentioned earlier that they're so focused on the end result they could really miss out on some memories. That goes for the fans as well. My job is to make them happy, and I'm looking forward to doing that. And I just want them to just have a great time. Come in there in LaVell Stadium, named after a man that I love, and let's scream our hearts out and see what happens at the end. But I think there'll be a lot of memories. We have only 60 minutes to make it work of game time, and just want them to enjoy every second of it.
Coach, with the tight ends, is there any update with Moroni?
Yeah, Moroni, I think he's on the depth chart, so yeah, we're planning on playing him.
Isaiah Heron's not listed. Is he injured? What's his status?
He was a little banged up in camp, but that thing can change any second now. So depending on what happens today, but yeah, he came into camp doing some really good things. There's a lot of DBs that aren't listed on the depth chart that I think could still have a factor and have a role in this game.
Along those same lines, depth in the secondary was something that you were kind of focused on in fall camp. How do you feel that shaped up heading into this game?
Yeah, I think there were some really cool surprises and some things that we could count on, and as far as personnel, and I'm really excited about this group. I think we've got good enough depth. And that's with, with the absence of Troy and Chris, in there. So this is a good group, and I like the leadership that I've seen from Diane and Austin Lee. And I think that it'll go a long way with this group here that can play. They're really gifted. There's some freshmen that haven't seen the game, but I'm excited to see them get on the field.
Two guys that have entered the 2D, Bo Tanner and Hayden Livingston, what have they done in order to get into the 2D?
Yeah, they competed their butts off. They earned it. And so, I think Bo Tanner's done some great things. He played safety and corner, so he can be a swing guy for us. And Hayden's worked extremely hard. Guy that just got home from his mission in January and put in some work since spring ball to now. And I'm excited to see those guys play. They've earned the right and said we'll play the best guys. And the best guys right there on the depth chart for us.
What's the schedule going to look like between now and kickoff on Thursday? How are you going to approach it for your guys?
Yeah, so we'll work on, this will be a Wednesday for us and tomorrow Thursday, and then, 48 hours tomorrow close to the game, and we'll go from there. So our guys are kind of trained on it. We're practicing a little bit later. We did this last year, getting ready for the time change, but we've been practicing in the afternoon and the heat of the day, and so I think having these guys just adjust their clocks, we did that a little bit last weekend, to now we'll get them ready so that they're able to perform at their peak when it's 8:15.
How important is this game to your future, do you think, this game Thursday with Utah?
I'm going to coach always. I love coaching this game. I don't think about anything like that. I'm more concerned with getting these young men the future that they deserve, and so that's what I'm focused on.
Something that Utah's done very well over the years is win the field position battle with their punting and kicking team. Jake Oldroyd currently starting punter and field goal kicker. What has he done to set himself apart, and does he kind of sway the edge in BYU's favor, perhaps?
Yeah, and I think, I don't know compared to what they've always had a strong kicking group with their specialists there, so I've seen it, but so they'll always be ready. But I think that Jake gives us the best opportunity to probably flip the field a couple times, and when he's called on to punt, I still think there's an opportunity for Danny to be on the field as well. But it all depends on on what we're seeing, what we're trying to accomplish.
With the defensive line, do you feel like this is a group that's the best equipped in your tenure here at BYU to get at 3 or 4 man pass rush consistently and create some havoc?
I believe so. It's we'll have to see, and if we can get the scheme devised so that they can get a lot of one-on-ones. The hard part about rushing 3 is that you probably only have one of the 3D linemen that gets a one-on-one, and it doesn't really matter if we get one guy in a one-on-one. I expect him to win, and so that's what it's going to come down to, whether it's a 3-man, 4-man, 5-man rush. The easy ones is when there's uncontested sacks, when no one's there to block them. And so if we have to dial that up, we'll do that too. I think we need to find ways to disrupt their offense with a quarterback that has a lot of experience and a backfield that has a lot of experience.
Last question for Coach.
What advantages does it bring, being that this matchup is in your house?
Oh yeah, the noise should work in our favor, but I think once you get on the field, we've been able to communicate with loud music and then do it with ways that coaches don't have to be heard. And so Thursday night it's going to be up on the players. Coaches aren't going to be there to save them, and luckily in practices we've been in that position where we let the players do their thing and be out in a position and put them in uncomfortable spots. And hopefully that the way they were able to overcome it in practice can show in the game as well.